Good morning and welcome back. Thank you for joining us again as we began our segment of Community Outreach Update Show on MCC's TV. I am so very pleased to have with us today as a guest Mrs. Ann Oakes, who is a trustee of the Muskegon Community College Board for the past 20 years, and she's also formerly an adjunct instructor of the sciences here at MCC.
Yes.
She is currently the township clerk at Muskegon Township, where she served faithfully for the past 8 years. Now, believe this or not, but she's also a pastor of Tabernacle Church of God in North Muskegon,
Yes.
where she succeeded her father, who pastored there for over 40 years. Now, not only that, but Miss Oakes is also an avid seamstress and a clothing designer. And she's made several African dolls depicting the many facets of life, those of the bride, the evangelist, the mother, and the child. Her business is called So and So. She and her mother also have designed and built many beautiful quilts that they share with their siblings and as well as their nieces and nephews. Being that this is the love month, February Valentine's Day comes here, I would surmise that anyone that knows or have heard of the Oakes family know that they are the epitome of love. So today I am just so happy to talk with you, Ann, about Black history and what your thoughts are on the importance of us to share our rich history. May I call you Ann today?
You may call me Ann because you're my longtime friend.
Yes,
So yes, Ann is just most appropriate.
Thank you. Wow, I am so impressed at your
Yes.
resume. And how do you find time to do all the things that you do?
I think when you're called to do things, the Lord provides you the strength to do all those things that He's called you to do. So that's what it is. I believe the areas that I serve in now, the Lord has called me to do those things. And when you're also surrounded by wonderful people to help you get the job done, that is the summation of it. The call, and the Lord provides the help to get it done.
Wonderful. Well, here we are in the Love Month, and it's also considered Black History Month.
Yes.
And what can you tell us? What does it mean to our community?
I think Black history allows us to reflect back on where we have come, not only as a people, but as a nation. It also allows us to check out the present. What are we doing based on the things that have happened in the past? And then allows you to plan and project for the future. Where are you going, or where do you want to go? So I think Black history, the whole month is just a time to reflect, to think about now, and to plan for your future.
Wonderful.
And it's not only for an individual, the whole community.
Yes.
So that's how it affects me, other people, and our community.
Well, thank you. And we at this time we just want to say thank you to yourself and to the board and to the president for allowing us here at MCC
Yes.
to observe Black History Month and to be supportive of our events. So I believe that you were born and raised in Muskegon. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm a native of Muskegon. Amen. I tell them I was born a tiger. So I was born and raised first 6 years in Muskegon Heights, and then I became a rocket. So I will always be a tiger, but I'm glad to be a rocket also, and a Jayhawk too.
All right. So now we're going to talk today a little bit about our final event that's coming up on the 25th, and it's called Love in Action.
Yes.
And I guess that explains it when you say Love in Action, but I believe it's important that we let you know that Ann's brother, Paul Oakes, was very instrumental. And he's no longer with us, but his spirit lives on in the promoting and the upbuilding of this program. We're so pleased that we can talk about him today with love.
Yes.
So what is Love in Action?
To me, we often sing the song and the phrase, love is an action word. And I was thinking, Mary, about the whole concept of love and action, reflecting back on the late Maggie Jones and Irene Green, who during the time Janie Brooks and you, Mary, were a part of that, the beginning
Yes.
of Love in Action. So love in action to me means that we, once again, we can think about creation, because I think The word says, "For God so loved the world." So it allows us to think about the creation and the creator. So love, to me, does a lot of things. It's like the motivator that causes us to do everything. Everything I do, it's motivated by love.
Yes.
So love is the motivator. Love is like a catalyst that puts things into action. So I think about love being causing us to forgive.
Yes.
Because when we don't forgive, we hold on to things. It holds us down and we can't move forward. So love allows us to forgive. It allows us to reach further beyond from where we're at, like I said earlier, to where do we want to be. So love is the catalyst that causes us to move forward.
Yes, and I believe this year we're going to be honored with Ann being the co-hostess of Love in Action. That's February 25th at 6 o'clock. She will keep us on task, and she will be our most qualified MC for the evening. Now, what would you like to see us do for the future as we move forward with Black History events, and what can we do more of?
Because of my love and passion for our future, and when I say our future, I think of our youth. There's things that we need to do, as I heard you speaking with Edgar Watson. You know, we've got to pass on the things that we know, the values that we've gleaned from our foreparents, from those who've gone on before us, the shoulders who we stand on. We've got to pass on to our young people the value of Black history and the value of the being created by God, being left here for a reason, then to focus on finding your reason and work together as a people. So Love in Action has got to be, I think, more involving and inclusive of the young people.
And one thing I think we talked about was developing a class where our young people can learn. Now, you brought one of your dolls with you, didn't you?
Yes.
Why don't you bring her over and let's take a look at her and just, isn't she gorgeous?
And she's one of my friends. And I've made several friends. As Mary said earlier, she represents my African queen.
Wonderful.
And I think, as I talked about the Creator, within each one of us is a gift, sometimes referred to as a talent. Within each one of us, God has given us something. And many times, just like when we reflect back in our history, many times the pain, the hurts, the things, the challenges that we've gone through, they allow us to bring forth what's inside of us, you know, not to become bitter, not to become saddened, but to arouse that hope, arouse that, that thing that sits dormant inside of us. So that's what happened. During a crisis in my life, the Lord began to show me, even though younger, Mary, we have a large family, it's 10 of us, 10 children, and younger, going to school at Reese Puffer, Miss Gossett, who taught us sewing. I was the one of the 3 older girls. I didn't have time. I could never put anything together. But later on in life, when there was a crisis that caused me to slow down, that caused me so much hurt, so much pain, it was during that time that the Lord began to give me what I called this gift. It was already inside of me. But slowing down through the hardships, through the challenges, that's what caused me to go inside. And inside, that's where I found God. Oh my goodness, you have this for me to do. And so that's why I started sewing. And what I love about the sewing is therapeutic.
Yes, it is.
The Sewing Mary allows me to be creative. When I seem like I'm bottled up, that I can't move, I just get quiet, and the Lord begins to inspire me with various ideas. I've taken the scraps. All of these are scraps. I've made somebody a real person. I made them an outfit out of this.
Oh, awesome.
And everything with the dolls were scraps. And everything with the barrettes, everything with the flowers, even the scarves, they were scraps left over from what I've done with other things. I made this for me. She's Queen Nefertiti. And these are just scraps.
Wow.
So you can see what you can do with the leftovers.
Yes. Oh, that's good stuff. Boy, we could go on and on. But if you want to see some of Ann's designs, they will be on display at the panel discussion as well. That's on February 22nd at 6 p.m., as well as the presentations by Papa Njai and his wife. We will have those set up. We have tables set up so that she can display her gift. And young people, that's what it's about, using your gift. So we're going to be doing some things. I, along with Ann as my guide, I'll call her my guidance counselor. We're going to do something for the young people. We're going to target the young people. So we're excited about what is happening here at MCC. Not only is it a great community college to start your college career, it has a lot of community outreach programs where we can deal with our community. And we certainly want to thank you. This time is moving too quickly. Well, closing words, Ann. What do you want to say to our public now as we conclude our interview about Black history? What do you want to say to them?
Never forget from whence you've come, because the things that have happened to you in the past has brought you to this point. I was thinking back when Mary said about MCC, and the other day I was met one of the former students from MCC, and we were sharing a name of a professor. Many of you know science, Jim Kane. He's just a part of the fixtures around here.
Yes.
So we were sharing about Jim Kane, and when I came to MCC, it was also during a hurting time. But you know what? Later on, I said with someone, I want to be an intricate part of MCC.
Yes.
And because of the steps that the Lord had guided me, never forget your past. Because of the steps that the Lord had guided me, I had the opportunity to teach at MCC under Jim Kane. And this is the poem that, just a little thought of the poem that I left with him. When I came to MCC, I felt like a withered plant. And being in the office with Jim Kane and MCC, Dr. Mabunda, Dr. Marzak, those people that allowed me, Dr. Stevenson, that allowed me the opportunity to teach, and being in that office with Dr. Kane, I told him I was like a plant, withered in the dark. But being around you, it was like you setting me out in the sunshine. And he nurtured me, and I began to flourish. And so never forget where you've come. Don't forget the people that have helped you to become who you are. The Janie Brooks, Dr. Reschke, Nancy Nielsen. And my parents, people in the community, Mother Maddie Wesley Davis, the Realistine Wilkinson. I remember when I began to run for office. Never forget the people. Never forget your past. When I ran for office, I used to call her my sunshine because she would take time to talk to me. The Bill Gill that took time to talk to me when I look in my infancy, and now that's what I want to do. I really want to help young people. Never forget your past, and my desire is to help any people, but I have a passion to help young people.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for coming to share with us today. We certainly want to acknowledge all the hard work that you've done, and we want to acknowledge some of these pioneers. So with Ann's help and Edgar's help, you can help me to do that. So we're almost out of town, but don't forget, Monday, 2:15, Up from the Bottoms, the search for the American dream. Then we will move on to February 17th, where Papa Njai and his wife, Dr. Sylvia Junta Njai, will have a presentation at 12 and at 6 o'clock in the evening. Well, send your comments to me, mary.williams@muskegoncc.edu. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you again real soon.